What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Knicks Chicks. I'm your girl, Lady and the Chef, joined by my co host today.
D-Velox 21, what's up?
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Two Knicks Chicks. We are happy that you decided to join us this evening. Um, we want to talk about a good win. The Knicks did play against the Los Angeles Lakers to finish off their West Coast end of their road trip, which they finished off that 2-2 with their win yesterday against the Los Angeles Lakers. Um, the Knicks did win 114 to 109. They're now sitting at 15 and 11 in the Eastern Conference. The Lakers, who are pretty good at home, finished at they're at 15 and 12. One of the things that stood out for me was the quarter scoring between the game. So for first quarter, the Knicks scored 35, LA 27. Second quarter, the Knicks did get outscored, scored 22. Los Angeles scored 31. Third quarter, the Knicks rebounded, scored 33 points. LA scored 22. And fourth quarter was pretty close. Knicks scored 24 points. LA scored 29. So I noticed when the Knicks, a pattern with the Knicks, when the Knicks do have quarters or most of the game where they outscore a team in a quarter, the Knicks have a higher chance of winning the games versus when the Knicks get outscored every quarter, they're not going to win the game because there's no control within that game for them to be able to win the game. But there was, a couple of great highlight players from that game, which we'll speak on later. But for you, what are your thoughts on the game? I mean, what did you think about that game?
Well, first off, let me start off by congratulating the Knicks on spoiling the Lakers in that in-season tournament banner
Yeah,
raising.
I know.
Nice win.
Yeah,
So
agreed.
happy for them because they purposely did that. They want to raise it right when the Knicks come into town. But anyway, kudos
Right.
to the Knicks. I'm glad they won. But there was a few players that stood out.
Oh,
Salute, AJ, like Hartenstein. Just his offensive. It was a great defensive. Effort on the glass with the board 17, and just offensively, yeah, he had 9 points. But this is what we need in Mitch's absence.
mhm.
So that was a great just attack on the glass and just the rebounds. Even Randall, he seems to play, well, against the Lakers. We're gonna need that on a nightly basis. Like the get, these are the things that we need from Randall because like I said, he's capable of doing it.
Yeah, you did say that.
IQ, his scoring. Um, and RJ, we definitely gonna need him to step up. But I know we're gonna definitely dive into that. But overall, it was just a great win. Team, effort and just a great team win. Um, you know, you let's hope they could keep stacking these wins. That's what they need to
Yeah,
do. You
exactly.
can't win one, lose one. Win one, you got to keep stacking wins. That's the only way you're going to be considered a contender and treated with some respect because those broadcasters, the next day always get the short end of the stick. But overall, that's who, for me, I truly, and Brunson, we know Brunson, he's clutch. But just Hartenstein, I thought that he was key for us and real huge and IQ for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. I think you hit on all the guys who did really play, who played really well. For me, it started off with Randall. I thought the
Yeah.
last few games, Randall has definitely stepped up. He started off the season in somewhat of a struggle. He was kind of like,
Hmm.
he wasn't as his normal Randall self as we saw last season. But if you ask me, Randall seems like his game has gotten better this season compared to last year. I From the play that I see that what Randall's doing, it's not that I'm seeing stuff he wasn't doing last season, but I think he's doing a lot of things this season that he's taken it to a few steps higher than he was last year. One thing that I've really been impressed by with him is that he's making really tough baskets. I mean, really hard, tough shots that take that level of skill set that's needed to make those baskets. I mean, he plays that bully ball really well.
Mm.
He likes the chest for chest, pound down and get down below. He's being creative in the shots that he's taking. And but they're tough baskets. He seems very confident when he's shooting those baskets. He's knocking them down. They look good. I feel good when they're releasing from his
Yeah.
fingertips and when he's making the baskets himself.
Mhm.
And Randall's just been really setting the tone for what we need him to do as a team. I think if Randall and you've even said it where you need Randall in order to sustain wins throughout the longevity of the season.
Yeah.
And I think that honestly, these past few games, I really have to give him his props. He's been making really tough baskets. I think he must have heard how, we were saying the last game, he only had 4 rebounds. That's not going to cut it. He had 14 rebounds the last game and he finished with 27 points. And those 14 rebounds were monster rebounds that the Knicks actually needed. RJ Barrett, I'm not sure what's going on with RJ. We've talked about this. A lot of fans didn't want to see him have a slow start. He started off with a fast start, but now it's seeming like, he's kind of regressing backwards. He finished with 12 points, 5 rebounds. Jalen Brunson finished with 29 points, 4 rebounds. Dante DiVincenzo did have 8 points. Kind of a quiet game, but the shots he did make were timely baskets that were needed. Isaiah Hartenstein gave us some Mitch energy on the boards, finished with 17 rebounds and 9 points. And had he would have made that free throw, he would have finished with a double double.
Yeah.
Emmanuel quickly was a nice spark off the bench. He gave us that energy. Finished with 20 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Josh Hart, although he didn't score a lot of points, I still like the way he played and that he made up for being a butthead and getting ejected out of the last game. But he came in with that energy and doing those intangibles, and he has some nice football passing plays down the court that I like to see from the Knicks, and I want to see more of. So I like the way he played. He did finish with 6 points, 5 rebounds. Quentin Grimes finished with 3 points. Taj Gibson had 3 rebounds. Um, Field goal percentage wise, the Knicks did finish at 47%. The Lakers was at 42. 3 pointers, the Knicks finished, both teams were horrible from the 3 point line. And I did check, how you can check the stats where they show you the made and missed shots. Um the
Yeah.
Knicks didn't make a lot from the three. They were 10 for 30 at 33%. The Lakers were 13 for 41 at 31%. Free throws, the Knicks did decent. Like I said, they probably would have been perfect. They were 20 for 23, 80 at 87%. The
Wow.
Lakers only
Yeah.
missed one at 12. They were 12 for 13 at 92%. Total rebounds, the Knicks did out rebound LA, 52 boards to 41. The Knicks finished with 11 offensive rebounds to LA's 9. The Knicks did out rebound on the defensive end with 41 defensive rebounds, and LA finished with 32. Assists, the Knicks finished with 21. The Lakers finished with 29. The Knicks did have 6 blocks. LA finished with 3. The Knicks had 5 steals. LA had 9. Turnovers were quite high. The Knicks had 15 turnovers. LA finished with 10. And then the points in the paint was I was really impressed with. Even though the Knicks did finish with this number the last game, if I'm not mistaken, it could have been the game before, but I'm pretty sure it was the last game with 62 points in the paint. It was because I remember you had brought up who we played, and they finished with 60 points in
Yeah.
the paint.
Yeah. Mhm.
So the Lakers did have 52 points in the paint. The Knicks finished with 62.
Mhm.
But I did want to ask you, do you feel like Randall is trying to prove that he's a star, or is he getting better? What is it with Randall that we're seeing that's this sense of growth that I'm noticing in these games? And again, it's been consistent.
I think it's a combination of both. Because he is Randall. To me, he can be up there with the greats and the likes of the other superstars. And he's definitely getting better and improving. Um, and now I guess he's trying to make that all-star. He's trying to go back. Because that's sort of like the pinnacle of careers of athletes. To make the all-star because you are voted as one of the best and the greats.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's a combination of both. But definitely he's getting better. because there's more consistency with him. Um, but yeah, yeah, I mean, again, it's a combination of both, and I'm happy to see that because, like, my thing is, this team will only go as far as Randall's going to take them,
Mhm.
um, because he is, yeah, this is Brunson's team, but for some reason, if Randall is not playing up to the level that he's capable of, I don't know how far the Knicks will go.
Yeah.
Considering we are missing, there's a missing piece from that equation that the Knicks need. So he has to step up and be consistent.
Yeah. I agree. I think when Randall plays this well, I brought up the point before. We know that both Randall and Brunson could give us anywhere between 30 and 50 points in a game. But I
Yeah,
think it matters most when the team can get the W at the end of the night. And with Randall, I think when he's been setting this this consistency tone of like I can give you what the team needs, and it's solid baskets, timely baskets, um, less of the little minor mistakes that you got to clean up. I'm noticing less of those throughout the game.
yeah,
When he's playing like this, it also takes a little bit of pressure off of Brunson because Brunson can piggyback. We know Brunson's not going to take a step or two behind. He may have an off game, but I think because RJ hasn't been showing that consistency and he's been kind of lagging, Brunson is like, okay, well, let me be that second guy and be there for you. And two guys that I wanted to ask you about is
mm,
both Quickly and RJ. Because my issue with Emmanuel Quickly is he has, and I mentioned this to you the last podcast. Emmanuel Quickly will give us 20 points. And then the next game, he gives you six, maybe nine if you're lucky. He may have the next two games, he gives you 15 to 20 points, maybe 22 points. And then the next game, 4 points, and he disappeared. What is it with Quickly in this inconsistency with giving us consistency because he started off the first few couple of games, the handful of games, he was giving us 17, 20, 15, 16 points a
yeah.
game.
Hmm.
And now he's kind of doing like he's showing signs it's triggering from when we was watching the playoffs. Remember, we were like, where's Quickly? Because
Yeah,
he's supposed to be that supporting cast that you and I keep reiterating that we need help from. So what's going on with Quickly and why is Quickly having one game where he's good, the next game he's fading out?
you know what? To quickly's, to his not so much a defense, but I would rather him be inconsistent than RJ because
Why?
RJ he's a starter and although he's in year 5 and he has seemed to regress. He started out um strong, shooting 48%. Now I don't know if it's since the migraines where he's not at 100%, but yeah, yeah, Randall, yeah, physicality is playing, yeah, paying dividends. I was going to touch on that. But for me, quickly, yeah, he's inconsistent. Um, and I'll take that from him. Yeah, I wish he would be more consistent. But overall, if I had if it was a toss up between RJ and quickly, I want RJ to step up and be more consistent.
Right.
I mean, because like I said, he's a starter. I don't know what quickly again, you can't like you want him and you will hope he would be more consistent so he can, get that, what he's searching for, as far as his payday. But with him, I don't can't like really, with him it's like, eh, you wonder what's his mindset when he steps on that floor. Because yesterday he was like a spark, man. And then there's days where he's just like so lackluster, he falls back, and you know that we can't because you are in a starting role. But I'd rather take his inconsistency over RJ's
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that
pieces.
I was listening to I don't know if it was Queen. I don't remember who. It could have been her show with DJ Shuttle and Jeff. It could have been. I could be mixing them up because I'll be watching so many different Knicks content creators. I love it all though. And they were talking about, you know, if the Knicks would go after DeRozan, how the Knicks should trade RJ, give up RJ for DeRozan. And they, she was kind of digging into why would you want to do that trade. And they were talking about the trade-offs with the experience over DeRozan, where he's like clutch from that mid-range and that's his game. And at least with him, it'll be a little bit more of a consistency with the shot making over RJ Barrett. And then I did hear but RJ Barrett has more tenure within the league as far to go upcoming,
Yeah. Hmm.
within him because he's still so young. And do you want to take DeRozan, who's 37, you
No,
know,
he's 34. He's
oh,
34.
34. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's Taj, that's 37. Look at me mixing
Yeah.
up their ages. Um, And Taj was another person that they did bring up too, where, and I was looking at the chat while I was watching the replay, and a lot of Knicks fans was saying, oh, I'm not really crazy about the Taj addition. And I think, you could do a collective. Most of us are kind of like, what was the point of that? Because you could have went at him. You even said it. There was plenty of the
Oh, yeah, for
younger
sure.
guys, and I think I don't know if it was Steph, someone said, but who would you go after? And with people, they were like, it was like the same answer you gave. You said, oh, I don't know off the top of my head, but clearly doing some research, you'll come up with at least a couple of guys you can say, well, they could
Hmm.
have went after that guy. But I don't know. Do you think that with quickly, and we still have a lot of season left to play, but should the Knicks try to keep quickly? Or do you still get rid of him and try to bring in someone else? Or, I mean, do you keep RJ? Are we going to have to keep going through these up and downs, this hot and cold water with RJ and the inconsistencies? Like, what do you do?
Well, of course, if he's playing inconsistent, no, you don't. You want somebody that's gonna get you out of, not just out of the first round. With RJ, and granted, this is just a quarter away of the season, but if this is what we're seeing, why hasn't he, gotten to the flow of the offense? You're 26 games in.
Yeah.
So with me, I'm like, listen here, like in the beginning on Steph show, I was like, I'm buying, but now, I'm like at a hole with him because of the inconsistency. And if we could get somebody like a DeRozan, yeah, he's older, but he's clutch. He's a shooter. He has the mid range, and I mean, so there's a lot of upsides to him. You
Yeah.
know, at 34 years, I mean, he's not young, but what he can do offensively, as opposed to you take away his age, what he can still do and what he's capable of. So yeah,
Hmm.
I would, bank on him right now over RJ because we need that consistency. And what quickly, I'm still, holding out because just that spark off the bench, like, yeah, it's not consistent, but when he's on, and he does just the little things. He has the floater, the mid range. So there's a lot of upsides to him. So for RJ, I'm like, he at this point, like I'm ready to like, he could go.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of feel the same because I feel like, well, RJ, like you said, I think the big thing with me is the consistency. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you're going to get from him on certain nights. And he's nowhere near playing like what Randall and Brunson is doing. And we need
Yeah,
that third
yeah.
option guy. Really,
Yes.
we need that other two option guys who can we need someone to back up Randall in that power forward position. And you need a backup point guard. And you need a true center who can bring the offensive game, contrary to what Mitch could give you on a defensive end. And I think that the Knicks right now they don't have that, and that is proven to be a problem. Here's why: Randall played over 40 minutes last night. That's not sustainable.
Yeah,
You can't keep playing him over 40 minutes a night,
yeah. Oh, for
playing
sure.
Jalen Brunson 39, 40 minutes a night. You can't do that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah.
problem, the one of the problems why he Tibbs has to do it, because I'm sure Tibbs is probably like, yeah, we getting this one tonight. Like I'm not taking him out.
Yeah.
But I think part of that is because Randall and Brunson don't really have no help. There's no those third, fourth option, fifth option guys
Yeah.
who can come in and give you that supporting cast of what you need. You know what I mean? They don't really have that. The Knicks bench is okay. But again, Grimes, he had what, 2 games since he's got went from the starting lineup from coming from the bench.
Yeah, yeah.
Josh Hart, yes, he does a lot of the other intangible things on the court, which I appreciate and I love, but he's another one. You're going to get 15, 17, maybe you even get 12, 14 points, but you may not get that again for another 3, 4 games. So, and then quickly, my thing with quickly that I don't like is like, okay, quickly did nice, but now I'm going to be watching quickly tomorrow night in Brooklyn.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like, can you replicate that and do that on a more consistent basis? Because we know quickly can give you the points. You know what I mean? Like, I feel more confident with quickly giving us consistent points than I do RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
And I don't know if sometimes I feel like quickly be holding back. You can't say necessarily it's always the defense. I'm like, dude, play, go out there and go off. But who you want to know who went off? Isaiah Hartenstein.
Oh man.
He was a monster on the boards.
Yeah, he was. I tell you, in Mitch's absence, he's been phenomenal, man. And the Knicks need that, because like I said, defensively and offensively, those second chance points, that's what we need. And
Yeah,
quite frankly, the Knicks didn't win by much. I'm gonna be honest, they won by the Lakers' poor shooting. I mean,
yeah, agreed.
they shot themselves. They was relying on a three, so they shot themselves out of the game and hoping they kept shooting them, hoping that they shoot themselves in the game, but just by their that point shooting, Prince, he was like what, 3 for 13, and even his field goals was 3 for 13. So it makes you wonder, well, if they were hitting on all cylinders, that outcome could have been a whole lot different. LeBron was what, 2 for 8, and for 3 pointers. So it makes you wonder. So that's why the Knicks, they need that that three-headed monster. They need somebody,
Yeah,
a la RJ. So had the Lakers been hitting, those threes and their field goals, that outcome would have been a whole lot different.
agreed. Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with that one. The Knicks didn't win by much, and of course, we both will take the win. But a big part of that was because the Lakers were off and they couldn't
Yeah,
buy a basket, and that was mainly because of LeBron James. Also, he missed a lot of key open layups
yeah,
and
layups.
baskets that he was just missing and dunks. But I think giving Hartenstein his credit, he did.
Oh
Because
yeah,
you know AD still had a great game. He finished with 39 points. Was it 39 or was it 32?
I think he
He
had
still
32.
finished. Um, oh, I'm looking at it right here. What am I doing? He finished with 32 points.
Yeah,
LeBron had 25 and Reeves had 20. So they were the only 3 guys in double figures in scoring. Um, but still, Hartenstein, 17 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Come on
but
now.
Was that his career high, right? The 17?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
so.
so. Yeah. One
17 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks.
yeah. Like man, he was active, man. He was key. You know?
Cuz Sims is not going to give you that.
No, and then plus he went down with a little
Ankle.
ankle injury himself. So,
Taj
so
said I'm ready.
yeah, but and also Taj, yeah, he's only going to do so much, and he's just filling in a role.
Mhm.
He's like a little extra body on the court. You know, he's
Yeah.
not going to give you much, and don't expect much out of him.
No, I'm not. I'm not. Honestly, I think, Hartenstein did say that he was just fulfilling a role until Mitch gets back. But I think even if that's the case, because he knows he's the backup center, still go out there and do it with pride as he's doing.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
let nobody walk all over you just because you don't do what Mitch do. Do what you do. And if anything, challenge yourselves to get better against each team. Because even last season, Hartenstein was blocking guys when they were going up trying to posterize him, and he was getting nice blocks. He was like, Mitch
yeah,
ain't the only one that could do this. I could do
yeah,
this too. So,
exactly.
you
Yeah,
know,
you know what this one sort of reminds me of when they beat the Suns. How they stayed composed, didn't
yes,
get down, didn't give up. You know, they're learning
salute
how to
Queen.
pull out wins. You know, against salute Queen, against tough opponents. So this, this when I was watching, I was like, man, this reminds me of when they played the Suns. And they were just able to pull out the win. You know, um, and also it's like how Brunson, he didn't force things. Um, like I said, when when the person is hot, when you're like also like Randall, so he didn't try to I'm a takeover. And this is how they win when it's not all about mano a mano. When somebody's hot and you feed off of that, and that's
Right.
what it seems like they're learning how to do. Um, and this is how you want to stack those wins. That's why I just want to just mention and there was just like an attack mode from out the from the tip off, and that's what they need to do. Stay that way, and that's also gonna get them that W as well.
Do you feel like, I know you just brought up the win against the Suns, but in watching last night's win against LA, was that team basketball for you? Or do you feel like that was more of like there was key guys that won that? Or do you feel like that was a collective effort? Because we've
Oh
been
no, definitely
heavily on
team.
collective effort, and that's part of what's missing for the Knicks to get these wins.
And that was a team effort, and collectively they forged and they came together as a team. It wasn't all, they played unselfish. Where like I said, Randall, it was his night. He commanded the ball. He dominated, and Rand Brunson didn't try to force it. He just although he did score more, but he pick and choose when his shots, and he was another one. He didn't force it. That was a collective team win. For them. Um, you know that's what they got to feed off of, and mirror each game. So they could put together a string of wins.
Yeah. My thing is with the Knicks is they have to figure out how to, like you said, how to mirror that and do that every game. Somehow we do that in pockets and then they lose it. And again, I get that there's going to be nights that they're going to be off, but the Knicks have this tendency of getting away from playing together as a team.
Yeah,
And last night, I truly saw team basketball. I saw guys cheering each other on. Not that they don't do that, but I saw it was a sense of hunger, a sense of like, yo, I really want us to get this win amongst all the guys. And then did you notice at the end of the game when the bench even stood up, when whoever threw that lob pass all the way down to Randall and
Oh,
Randall
that
made
was
that nice
quickly.
dunk, right?
Yeah.
And the bench got up
Mhm.
and they were like, yeah, and they were cheering them on because the Knicks bench was like, yo, this is like, we got this. It just like sealed the deal for them, like we beat them. And I feel like, and we've been harping on these past few episodes, like that's one of the things that the Knicks have gotten away from is like playing together as a team. It's too much individual play. And
Yeah.
like I said earlier, we know um Randall and Brunson could give us 40, 45, 50, 30, 35 a night. But if you're not getting the W at the end of the night, what good is those points if we couldn't win as a team because you didn't have other guys contributing or involved in that game to get the win? So I thought that was one of the other things that I really wanted to applaud them for doing. Now, um, DiVincenzo, I thought he was going to have some more points. I don't know why. I was like, I had to look a couple of times. I said he only had 8 points. He was 2 for 4 from the 3 point line, 3 for 5 from the field goal. He had 3 assists, 1 turnover. I don't know why. I thought he would have had a little bit more from us because he in the first couple of shots he made in the first quarter, they were nice
Yeah.
baskets. They were
Yeah.
clean. They were much needed baskets. And even who was it? Mike Breen was like DiVincenzo, like almost like okay, he's heating up.
Yeah,
And I
right?
don't know. I guess the tea kettle, the stove got cut off or something. The stove
Yeah,
top.
he cooled
He
down.
cooled down. Yeah. And I said, well, what happened? I thought he was gonna give us at least 15, 20 last night. I said, okay. I mean, again, but this is what I mean when I'm saying when you need guys like DiVincenzo, quickly, Josh Hart, Grimes.
Rhymes.
You need those 4 other guys to help and pitch in. It can't just be Randall and Brunson.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
right
yeah.
now, RJ Barrett is still, he's in a sticky situation. We're not really sure what's going on there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, but again, I like DiVincenzo. I like what he brings because he can shoot the ball, so he can open up the spacing on the offensive end for the team, because he
Mhm.
can knock down those threes. And sometimes, when one guy's getting going, it helps other guys build that confidence. Like, well, let me touch the rock so when I shoot it, I can make that ball down also. Um, but yeah, I thought he would have had more points. I don't know why. I just was like, that's all he had, which was weird to me. But yeah, I thought it was a nice win by the Knicks
Yeah.
overall against LA. I really did. I thought that was a great win.
Yeah, yeah, LA was playing physical too, man.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, man, I was like, "What?" Yeah, and that's why I said that's why it was a nice win because they stayed composed. They didn't let LA take him out of their game by,
right.
and Randall just matched that physicality, which, kudos to him also because, LA was playing, quite physical. I think he needed stitches. Somebody had got a black eye and then a bruise or something. And then uh Hartenstein, he had got a scratch and stuff on it. Like, what is this? Basketball? We playing football or boxing? Which we're not in the ring. We're on the court. But the
Right.
kudos to them for staying composed and playing their style, their game, and that's what got the W. They were able to match LA whenever they try to make some sort of run. They had guys to counterpunch that,
Yeah.
on the floor anyway. But it was a good win for them.
Yeah, the Knicks were able to capitalize. At one point, I want to say LA was within 5, but then when a
Oh
few
yeah.
minutes you blinked your eyes or you went to grab your snack that you was eating, and the Knicks ran off with the lead, and now they were up by 12, 13 points. And that's what I was saying the Knicks need to do more of. Stop allowing teams to be within 5, 6 points, 7 points in the game. get a lead and maintain the lead.
Yeah.
Watch the turnovers, don't get sloppy. Watch the passes, don't get sloppy. Come up and set screens for guys, move without the ball, make smarter decisions. You know where guys are gonna pass. This is why we were saying, like, when they go to practice, are you going to the practice just because that's what you have to do in between your next game? Or are you actually practicing to say, let me try to make a connection with other guys on the team so when we do get in the game, we know where each other's spots are and where this one is gonna run to and et cetera, et cetera. Um, but yeah. So the Knicks do play Brooklyn tomorrow. Uh Brooklyn is sitting at 500. They're in ninth in the Eastern Conference. They're sitting at 13 and 13. The Knicks are in fifth at 15 and 11, uh, well over 500. Um, usually when the Knicks play Brooklyn, I find the games are always close. I don't know why. I feel like it reminds you of like when the Knicks play Charlotte, you hear a lot of the crowd is involved. People are like,
Hmm.
yo, it's like a Yankees Mets game. It's one of those typical rivalry games. But it bothers me that the Knicks don't ever just beat them. Not
Yeah.
that we haven't, but like you should be beating them damn near every time you play the Brooklyn Nets. And
Yeah. Put him
now
away.
I don't know about that because Mikal Bridges is really good, this guy. He's a scoring machine. Cam Thomas is a scoring machine.
Yeah.
And those are the real two that you have to watch out for Brooklyn. But what are you looking forward to in tomorrow's game against Brooklyn?
Um. Well, being that they had this nice, that LA win, I'm looking for them to, to do the same thing. Again, guard the perimeter. Um, I wish somebody else would step up. With what another player, a starter as opposed to a role player. Guard the perimeter.
But
Attack the
who
glass. Well,
besides RJ? Who else would be your option that you would like to see step up?
even
Or
although DiVincenzo, maybe he can definitely give us a little bit more, but mainly RJ because you gotta realize he's your main starter.
he's a
DiVincenzo's
starter,
only
right?
he's only filling the role, so he's role play, aka starter, but technically he's not. So I would definitely like RJ to step up and take that lead. Um, yeah, Brooklyn's like that
Yeah,
annoying.
they are. That's
They
so well
are.
said. It's like I don't
Yeah,
know
I
why the
like
Knicks
that.
could never just run away and just tear them apart when we
Yeah, I
play
like that
them.
analogy. Um, their turnovers, they need to watch those, keep hitting those free throws. They're free and they are key and vital for the game. Mikal's gonna he's gonna, I'm definitely looking forward to that matchup. Um and just again, just mirror from the LA, let that carry over, let that be some momentum for them.
Right. Yeah, I salute Kareem Grant.
Salute, Kareem.
Um, I think with the Nets are gonna come out with energy.
Oh, for
These
sure.
guys, I believe they're coming off a 3-game losing streak, but they're gonna come out with energy. They have beat some better teams in the league. Um, and sometimes for some reason they love to get energy when they play against the Knicks, especially the energy is at an all-time high as if it's a playoff game. But I think the Knicks need to definitely guard the perimeter. Brooklyn is going to want to shoot lights out. They're going to want to, shoot the ball. You're going to have to hold Bridges because Like Randall, he's gonna go off regardless.
Yep, and Thomas,
Yeah, and Todd, those are the
he-
two that you really have to look out for
yeah,
and really
he's
make
on.
sure that you're guarding those two guys because if not, you'll look up at halftime and they'll have 20 points each. And
Yep,
you'll
he's
be
on.
like, how?
Yep, he's on the scoring tier, so you got to definitely watch out for him.
Yeah. So, one thing I have noticed with Brooklyn, I'm looking at all their games so far this season, win or loss. Every game is over 100. So you know what that means tomorrow. Score maybe 150 to 120. At the rate that they're going, I won't be surprised. Every game that they played, no exaggeration, 125 to 108, they lost. 124 to 120, Brooklyn lost. 124 to 101, Brooklyn lost. 116 to 112 against the Suns, they won. 131 to 118, they lost. 124 to 97, that's the only one that you're going to get at 97, under 100. They won
Well,
that game. All their
well, to the
games are
Knicks.
over 100 points.
Well, the Knicks did hold the Lakers to 109, so that was a nice defensive effort. Considering what their opponent's been scoring on them lately. So that's a definite plus for them going into tomorrow. So
Mhm.
if that's worth any credit.
Well, Cam Thomas is their leading scorer at 24 points. Nick Claxton is their leading rebounder. He averages about 9. Spencer Dinwiddie is their leading assist guy at 7. And Nick Claxton, he averages also, he's their leader in blocks. He averages about 2 blocks a game.
Wow.
So, points per game, Miguel Bridges, he's averaging about 21. Spencer Dinwiddie, 15. Who else? Nick Claxton, 12. I mean, Knicks are going to have to really play some defense against these guys. No, seriously, because the last thing you want to do, first of all, they're right next door. You're not going to the Virginia Nets. You're not going to Maryland. You're going right to Brooklyn. This is our first time to play in Brooklyn this season.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah,
start the series off right and get the win against them.
yeah, yeah,
Isaiah Hartenstein is starting. Yeah, because Sims. Well, is Sims any update
yeah.
on Sims' ankle?
I didn't hear anything, but most likely he will. I think he. I don't know if he tweaked it or. Is it- he's day to day.
Yeah. So then, yeah.
Most likely he probably will start. iHeart, which it'll be nice though.
Now, do you think the Knicks should start quickly and sit Rand RJ down?
No, I still like quickly coming off the bench.
Mm.
I do. I still,
But
like.
why? Do you think because of the ball handling skills, or because he can for the ball handling skills and the contributions he can add for the second unit, the bench unit, points wise, or what is it?
Definitely.
Why?
That's those for those two reasons you just mentioned. Yep, nothing else. Just
Yeah,
he fits better offensively with the second unit, the ball handling, and the contribution. So yeah, for sure, without a
yeah,
doubt. No, I'm not ready. For me personally, for quickly, it's not just yet. No, I like him coming off the bench.
yeah. I
Wh-
mean,
What what's your take on it? I mean,
it's too. I think it's too soon to make that decision yet. But I think if, because with RJ, then he likes to switch gears. When the after All Star, he'll start to get his superpowers like a Power Ranger, and all of a sudden he get the juice, and he's ready to,
he
Incredible
said the
Hulk can come out
superpower.
and start doing things because you know RJ was that guy who actually helped keep us in games and make pivotal points in the
Oh,
playoffs
for
last
sure.
year because he was
Yeah.
actually driving. And I think if Randall continues to keep playing like he's playing and stepping it up, I think Randall will be better this season in the playoffs because he'll know how to be able to one on one get past his man and be able to create his shot. Whereas last season, he struggled doing that
Yeah.
against the defense in the postseason. So I think Randall doing that, and we know RJ could get to the basket, but I don't know what it is because you can't say that RJ's not getting any touches or that he's not. It's not a situation like with Grimes. I think it's just RJ.
Oh, for sure.
He's
Yeah.
blocking his own self, and I don't know what's going on mentally. I don't know if I don't think that he's checked out. I don't know what it is. It's typical RJ back and forth riffraff that we get from him.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's because since the migraines with his scoring and just his numbers, they have dipped though, significantly. So, we don't know, but I just wish that he could just step up, and just give the team more. He's another
Right,
one that he can, but for whatever reason he's struggling offensively.
right. I don't know if you heard about. I wanted to quickly bring up how there's been talks. Brian Windhurst had brought up Donovan Mitchell being available. Well, if Cleveland makes him available, how it'll lead to a bidding war between the New York Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets. Um, Do you think the Knicks will go after Donovan Mitchell? I know I asked you this before, but these news articles keep coming up and they keep speaking about this, and a lot of the trade talks lately have been about Donovan Mitchell, and then the other half has been with DeMar DeRozan. But do you think that the Knicks will go after Spider?
That's hard to say because they have all those picks, and to me, they could just be just waiting and could be pulling off some type of strategic move. Like will they go after him or will they wait for that superstar? Because right now there's no superstars available. A lot of teams is already stating who's off the market, who's not available, because their teams is playing so great. It's like why would they give up their franchise player
Mhm.
because those teams are playing great. Don, if I think this is last year. Um, so it's kind of a twofold because like he commands the ball just as much as as Brunson. So like how would that work out? With him being ball dominant, Brunson's same ball dominant. So it's like, well, how would that chemistry work? On the court. But going
But do
after
you
him,
think he needs to but do you think Spider needs to start as well, or can he come off the bench? And because
uh,
I think it's only fair because Brunson got there first, unless God forbid he gets hurt and suffers an injury, can't Spider just come off the bench and come
yeah, but
in?
he's not getting traded to come off nobody's bench. That's a definite no. He's definitely not getting traded to come up the and the Knicks bench. I mean, although he's a homegrown, hometown, guy, he's not coming here to come off no bench. You see, so that's where they got to figure out how would this work out. Um, you
But I
know,
think sometimes, you know, unless the league has changed and there's not that mentality anymore, but if you know a team is trying to get somewhere and the end goal is to get that championship or we're building towards something, no matter how great of a player you aren't teams that's, the front office staff, aren't they telling guys like this is who we're bringing and this is where we're trying to go, keeping it real, telling them and the agent like you're not going to start, but that doesn't mean your minutes are going to get diminished because I think if you bring in like Donovan Mitchell, And I think part of the problem is, I think it's two parts. Part of it is that teams were asking, saying basically, okay, well, if you want Donovan, I'm just using as an example, then we want Grimes, we want Quickly, we want RJ. But shouldn't the Knicks allow, give away those players and take someone in like him, but say, okay, and I get it. You're absolutely right. He needs the ball in his hand, but so does Brunson. But can't you say, okay, we could have, for example, Spider coming in off the bench. You could have Quickly, I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe Josh Hart, and you have another big Hartenstein coming in. Can't that work on a Knicks team, or that's not going to work?
It sounds good, but he's a player that the end goal, yes, is to win a championship, but sometimes, players know what they're capable and know their worth on the court. Um, yeah, yeah, he will have to come off the bench, but will he agree to come off the bench? That's is it. You know, in theory, it sounds good, but he's still young. And see, again, I don't. We're just speaking just in terms like
Right.
players. They know what their capabilities and know their worth. Will he be willing to buy into something like that? If he can, he'd be the ultimate person to get, outside of a wing. But technically speaking, I would love him to come to New York because that's you're gonna he's like a Brunson. You know what you're gonna get night in, night out, and that's additional 20, 22 points that can definitely get you, up there. But yeah, I don't know. Is he willing to even go for that?
I
It
mean,
sounds
but
good.
I'm not understanding, like, I get the whole you starting for a team, but to me, like, I don't like this whole, like, first of all, you're getting paid millions of dollars. Why does it matter if you coming off the bench?
But let me say something. Like, and I mentioned this before. Basketball is all about, you know, I don't want to say egos, but it's a egos and a confidence thing. You know, I was gonna say something else, but it's all about confidence and egos, and you know people egos get hurt when they as a player you feel you're not starting and you should be starting because there's a lot of disgruntled players out there now that they're not starting but they are voicing their disdain for their lack of playing time.
Hmm.
So he may feel that way. So that's why you got to be careful, with who you bring in and know and their role that they are playing and and contributing to a team. I don't see him as a player coming off the bench.
And what about if the Knicks won the bidding war and got DeRozan?
Well, then either he would be a good addition to come off the bench, um, or I don't see them starting him over RJ like now anyway. If if they were to hypothetically, bring him in, he probably would come off the bench, and that'd be a nice addition for the Knicks.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, starting, no, I don't think so. But I know he'll be, I
Knicks are
hope
front.
so. I hope the Knicks are front runner. He want to come to New York, and that's
Yeah.
the crazy thing. He wants to come here. So, but let's see what the front office has up their sleeve.
Can the uh can the Knicks hold off the Nets tomorrow and pull off a win? What are your predictions for tomorrow?
Oh, for sure, I got the Knicks winning. Definitely for sure. Um, we're better. You know, the Knicks are better. You know, definitely defensive wise. Even offensively. You know, again, as I mentioned, just watch your turnovers. You know, that perimeter. You know, because Mitch is not there, but you know, this is where Hartenstein has to step up and continue to step up.
Right.
He's played phenomenal for the Lakers, so he has to definitely continue, and mirror that. We need bench contribution outside of quickly. So no,
Yeah.
I have them winning that game.
Jalen Brunson dropping 40. I mean,
Yes,
I
yeah.
definitely could see that. But my thing is, I need the win too. We know him and
Mm-hmm.
Randall could drop 40.
Exactly.
I need the W because we need to. The Knicks need to be careful for their standings, and I know it's still early, and a lot of changes could be happening. It's going to be a lot of shifting and moving and standings in the Eastern Conference. But I think the Knicks need to not get too high in the standings, and then you get to find yourself in 10th, 11th,
Yeah.
8th, ninth. You know what I mean? Like it's too much jumping around. I think right now, believe it or not, the Knicks are doing a good job staying within that between that. I can't even say fourth, but I'm gonna say that fifth and sixth seed. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you don't want to you and it's true, Knicks fans. You blink your eyes, and you be like, "Oh snap, we in 10th," and now you in that 10th, 11th for too long, and you piddle paddling back and forth between 10th and 11th like you the Atlanta Hawks. 10th, 11th, and you just sitting there. Because I've even seen Miami at one point where they was there, but then they went on a run, and that happens. Teams go on a run within the
Yep.
league,
Yeah, they
so
put.
anything can happen. It's still plenty of basketball NBA season left. But I think
Yeah.
it's so vital for the Knicks because we know what kind of team they are. And I believe the Knicks will grow throughout the season that you don't want to end up in that seventh or eighth seed. You
Yeah.
really don't
Yeah.
even want to be in the sixth. You want to try to go after that if you can, fourth, fifth
Exactly.
place
Yeah.
within the Eastern Conference. So this way you don't have that better team in the first round and you could at least deal with them in the second round.
Exactly.
But I think it's also important with me saying that these guys start to learn how to get over the hump and beat the better teams in the leagues, your Bostons, your Philadelphias, Orlando. You got to know how to beat these teams. If you can't beat these teams, you're not going to get far in the playoffs. You're going to be a first rounder, and that's it. So I think it's important that the Knicks keep themselves in good standings within the East. Don't get too high
Yeah.
up within the Eastern Conference, and hopefully they can, you know, get the 50 wins like some of us had was saying. Knicks need a center. Mitch won't be back until playoffs. He'll be back before then.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, he'll be back before then. I think Mitch will probably be back like maybe early March.
Yeah, that's what they're predicting him to come back.
Yeah, he should be back around that time. So, I mean, I think it's more so we're going to be watching how does Mitch come back?
Yeah.
Is he going to have
Mhm.
that spring in off his feet? You know what I mean? Like, is he going to be able to
Yeah.
get up and down the court as quick as he was? So, but again, I think the Knicks, so they don't get themselves in trouble for later in the season, the Knicks are gonna have to figure something out because right now you're playing Tibbs is playing guys a lot of minutes. Well, Randall and Brunson, he's playing them a lot of minutes.
Yeah. Well, they need help. That's why they need somebody else to step up. Oh.
Yeah, Knicks are nice to saying 100% by the playoffs. Yeah. Oops. If iHeart gets hurt, yeah. That's what I'm saying. They don't have backups, but we're not going to even think about that. But you being realistic. Shaw Legacy, salute. Knicks got to unbiasedly locate the dead weight and get rid of it. Randall and Brunson can't defeat top teams by themselves, and they shouldn't have to. Yeah, that's what we've been saying.
Yep.
Randall and Brunson is going to need help. They have to build around those guys. And I think, like you were saying, a lot of other guys could go. We're holding on to dead weight. I would get rid of Grimes. I would get rid of RJ. I would get rid of Fournier. I would get rid of McBride. And I like Miles, but y'all playing with him, giving him 4 minutes a game, if that. Who else? Would you keep Josh Hart?
Well, he signed, but no, not really. If there's a superstar, if you got some better options. No, not really. He can go too. He can
Who
go.
who else is somebody that you would get rid of that's dead weight?
Well, definitely. Well, Fournier, R, I'm not even gonna throw RJ in there, but Fournier, Grimes, um, well, to get a superstar, yeah, I would throw RJ in there. When they become available, if and when they become available, because right now nobody's available, to be honest
Right.
with you. But when they do, yeah, RJ can be thrown in that package deal.
RJ,
Fournier,
Fournier, Sims.
oh, damn, Sims.
I mean,
um,
come on, because I like Sims. I like his work ethic. But I think I heard Queen say it. She said, Tibbs said in training camp, Tibbs made the comment that Sims was killing it. Now, again, you made a point where Sims needs to be able to get the burn so he can get the experience. So I'll give him that. But I don't see him killing anything when he's out there.
no, he gotta get his legs underneath him and just continue to get reps. That's only way he's gonna get better.
I don't even think it's just getting legs under him. I think no, I think guys need to really like in the off season work on getting better training. Remember that video you sent me last night of that trainer who trained, who was it, Kawhi, who said he wanted to get the same training like to that level of like Melo?
Yep,
And
it
that's
was
why Kawhi is good. Injury
yeah.
prone aside, like that's what I mean with guys taking advantage of training, not conditioning, skill
Mm,
set training.
yeah, this guy, he
Sims
has
is too
trained.
strong and too big to not have some kind of skills that he can add to the team offensively. Skills that he can bring more so on the defensive end also. We need guys. You can't keep running down the road where you have guys like Mitch who's just very one-sided and they give you great defense. But then offense, you don't really have much to give because your skill set, you don't have much under your belt on the offensive level. And I
Yeah,
think
no, I
that
agree.
the Knicks have a lot of guys who, I don't want to say a lot, but a few guys who the skills aren't there and they need to work one-on-one with trainers who can help them become work get have a better shot, better ball handling skills. Bigs who are ready to catch the ball when the ball comes to them and be able to give you a nice little hook shot, a floater. I'm talking about basics, but you got to have at least 2 to 3 moves under your belt. You can't tell me that all you know how to do is catch the ball and dunk it. And this is not even me throwing no shade on Mitch. I love the way Mitch has played, but what I'm saying is the Knicks can't fall into that where you have players who are not two sided. You just have one sided players. So for me, I think some of the dead weight I would get rid of. I would get rid of I would get rid of Fournier just because you're not utilizing him. I think he's a good shooter, but you're not utilizing him. That's dead weight. I would get rid of RJ if the right opportunity comes along because of the lack of consistency. And eventually we'll give out grades. I know you gave out quarter season grades, but we'll give out around the All-Star break how players are doing. But so far that's two. I feel like I would love to keep Quickly, and I think because Quickly could be an asset, I think the Knicks should pay Quickly. So I'm not even going to put him on the table right now. Miles McBride, Quentin Grimes. He's a dead weight. That we're holding on to all these trades. We're keeping dead weight.
And
It's like a hoarder's house.
by the way, that trainer's name is Chris Brickley. I mean, I know a lot of people heard of him.
Oh yeah, he's the real deal. He's the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like the Knicks need Knicks. Some of the few Knicks players need to work with trainers like that. Pay the money. You guys have the money. Pay the money and get the training to get your skills to the next level. You know what I mean? Like we need guys who could score like a Joe Johnson. You know
Oh
how
man,
Joe
he was.
Johnson could just score?
Yeah, he was. He was pure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I truly believe, and I would liken to believe that the front office are gonna do this, have this strategic move under their belt.
Sims needs to be under a
Yeah.
developmental
Mm.
coach, a young team like Houston, Orlando, Detroit, where he's allowed to mess up. Yeah, I agree. Because
He-
to me, I feel like, and this is what I mean with the Knicks front office. Are we trying to, what direction are we going in?
yeah.
What direction are we going in, guys? Ladies, whoever's on the front office. I'm sure it's predominantly men. You saw what the New York Liberty did? They're thirsty for a championship, so they made changes quick. Bring in superstars. That's what they
Yeah.
did. They got rid of the dead weight, and they're gonna run it back next year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they are.
But
Yeah.
that's what the Knicks need to do. It's not necessarily just bringing in a superstar, but you also have dead weight. Like it's like they swept the floor up a little bit, but there's still crumbs and stuff on the floor. They didn't get it all up. And they have to get rid of some of the dead weight. I agree with Shaw Legacy on that. The Knicks have a lot of dead weight that I don't want to say a lot. They have some dead weight. But let me ask you, okay, the Knicks hypothetically they get rid of the dead weight. You still got Tibbs at the forefront coaching them. You have Randall and Brunson. Let's say like the Knicks bring in the right pieces around those two guys. And we still have Tibbs coaching. Do you see changes in the Knicks going to that next level and actually being contenders?
Well, if they surround themselves with those key pieces, why not? All bet, even though Tibbs is a coach. Um, sometimes I feel his coaching style is just like antiquated. He's stuck in his ways. But the coach can only coach. The players still have to go out um and play and win. So I think if they did, they can win. I don't
Mhm.
know about the champion, but they can go far.
You think they'll be better as a whole with the right pieces in place,
Oh, for
having that
sure.
third and fourth option guys behind
Yep.
Randall and Brunson, and
There'll
they'll be
be
a
a
better. And
yeah,
Tibbs, I feel like he has more to work with.
yeah, there'll be a contender for sure.
Yeah,
I don't see why not.
yeah. I just think that the front office, those are the questions that they need to ask themselves. What direction are we going in? Seriously, and they really need to take
Yeah,
a page out of the New York Liberty's book. The New York Liberty have yet to win a championship. So that's why they made those. They got rid of. You saw how many people they got rid of.
yeah, I
It was
know.
damn near
Yeah,
a whole new team. I'm not saying you gotta get rid of everybody, but there's a lot of guys that a handful of them you could get rid of
but
and
and
make
you could build
room.
around your
Right.
two key
Main all
players that you
stars.
have.
Right. I don't want to call them all stars, but your two main players.
Oh, by the way, don't forget to vote.
Oh, for the
Voting
all
has
star.
begun. Yep.
Yeah. Or who are you voting for?
You know, I'm definitely voting for Brunson. Kidding me? Definitely.
You're
Uh,
not gonna give Randall a vote?
oh yeah, yeah, I'm voting for
Oh,
Randall too. Yeah, for sure. Those two, they definitely got my vote in the bag.
yeah. I.
Oh yeah. But Laurie Marketing, he's not going nowhere. I think nah, I'm telling you, these not now anyway. But I mean, anytime when you're talking the right price, all players could get moved.
Right.
With the right price, and you throwing some picks, But he's another one. They're not looking to part ways with him. You
No.
know.
No, he's an asset to the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the Knicks definitely have to really figure out their identity as far as the front office. And you don't want to waste two guys like Randall and Brunson, whose games are like at a high and only growing and getting better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't want to wait till it's too late and then decide to bring guys in. But I also think that it's okay to look at guys who are coming into the league, whether they're from college, guys that in the G League. But I think the Knicks need to try to focus on getting the more experienced guys in the league. And I'm not even necessarily just saying veterans, but I think we need guys who are ready. The basketball IQ level is there. Guys who knows what it takes and who've had experience being in the playoffs. Guys who's even won a championship before on other teams. And guys who could show you leadership within the games. I think that's what they need. And right now, what's the identity and where are we trying to go? I don't think they know where they're trying to go because they're saying these things, but like, are we trying to win a championship soon? I'm talking about soon. Like, come on now. Or are we going to still keep trying to not play chess moves and we kind of bringing in players and when like what are we doing?
No, like I said, I truly believe that the front office it has some type of gonna pull a strategic move as far as as bringing in a great player.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, we can vote. Yeah, I voted. I did my voting today.
I have to vote. I didn't. I saw the posting today from the New York Knicks YouTube channel. They kept posting it because it's the All Star weekend is gonna be in Indiana this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now players want to join the Knicks. Yeah, because you have Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle's playing well. Jalen Brunson is part of the big reason why of that. Because Randle's always been a good player, but he had crappy players around him. No one wanted to come there. He was like, he got it. I ain't interested.
Well, that's what your point guard's supposed to do, make you a better player. So JB's recruiting players. Well, let's vote him in, guys. So
Exactly. We won't win because of the cast around those two. Change it and we have a chance. Exactly, Queen.
yeah.
Exactly. That's what it's gonna take. The Knicks front office have to bring the right players in around Randall and Brunson. And they also need solid backups. You need a solid backup point guard. You need a solid backup power forward to Randall. You need a solid backup center to Mitch. We have no backups. Thank God you had Hartenstein. Because what were you gonna do?
Yeah, right.
Seriously, what were you gonna do? What I mean, yeah, you got quickly to back up Brunson, but it's not the same style of play. And quickly did step his game up. His game has gotten better. I see growth, but they have to bring in backups to these guys, to these players. Right now, we're just a two-man team. And sometimes you have a supporting cast. And I think the Knicks need at least you need two other options at least. And like you keep alluding to, we're very guard heavy.
Yeah, what
Too
they
many
are.
guards. The Knicks are not tall enough. The Knicks front office have to figure out the identity of this team.
They lack
I don't want to see
size.
this same crap next season. I really don't.
Now those changes could be implemented this season. We don't have to wait till next. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
and also if Randall had better skilled basketball players around him. Because I think Randall will still shine, but I think that'll keep him motivated to be like, you know what, these guys want to win. They come in and put in the work just as hard as I do. And not to say that guys don't do that now, but when you like winning on a more consistent basis and you see you actually have the help and not all the pressures on you, I think that'll also keep him motivated and hold him accountable. But I think you're absolutely right. You need a coach who's going to absolutely hold him accountable for sure. So we'll see if the Knicks could get, these make the right moves and get the right guys in. This is what we're, this is what's needed for the Knicks. My predictions for tomorrow, I got the Knicks winning. Um, I'm sure it's going to be a high scoring game as both teams have been allowing well over 100 points a game. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game. I will be tuned in. It's not as late as the past few West Coast games were so late. So yeah, I really want the Knicks to take this win. I want them to carry the momentum from yesterday's game and be able to get a back to back and take this next win. And then from there, I think the Knicks,
Then they off. They don't play again until the 23rd.
I thought the Knicks play on Christmas Day too.
No, they got Milwaukee the 23rd. That's Saturday. Then they got
Oh,
them
back to
again
back. Oh,
Christmas. Yeah, they got
Monday.
them back to back at home
That's
Saturday and
wow.
Monday.
Oh, they both early games. 12:30
Yeah,
Saturday, 12 o'clock Monday or Christmas Day.
Christmas
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay, well, you know what? Rest up. But listen, those Milwaukee games, those two games, Knicks fans, we're going to be watching because for some reason the Knicks struggle against Milwaukee, and we still can't seem to be able to beat them. So but we'll cover that when we get closer. But yeah, tomorrow's game is at 7:30. And yeah, we'll see what's going on with those games, and I got the Knicks winning that game. But
Me too.
anything else from you before we get out of here, or you wanted to
Nah,
go through?
you know my mantra. Let's go Knicks. We got y'all got this. This is it's not. No win is never easy. Just go
Right,
out there and play.
right, and don't sleep on any team, but get
Yep.
the job done. You at least you back in New York. You're not at MSG, but you back in New York. So yeah, and it'll be a nice little win before Christmas, and then I'm looking forward to the next two against Milwaukee. The Knicks they gotta
For
get one
sure.
of those in Milwaukee for sure. Like at least one if you can't get both.
Yeah.
Let me see. Shaw Legacy said we need a better supporting cast. These D-list actors can't be a championship movie when it's all said and done. Yo, you ain't never told a lie.
D list.
The supporting cast is, and didn't I say that though? I said the
Yeah.
Knicks love taking C, D, XYZ grade players and
And
don't
no
like to
names.
take and no name guys or injury prone guys. The only thing I will give the Knicks that they change and got better at is that we're not just giving contracts, high paying contracts to just any old body. They have gotten smarter with that, but for some reason, I really want to know, like, are they hiring for the scouting? They didn't need somebody to help out with the scouting and,
Well,
and getting players?
I kind of think that they were too quick to put the on the dotted line with Josh.
Josh
Not that
Hart,
he's not a good
agreed.
player, but again, I he showed flashes of greatness, and that's what the Knicks saw that, and they could sometimes they could be too quick to sign a player like a
I
Josh.
agree, a hundred
So,
percent.
but otherwise in that day, they're being patient, and and they seem to, I guess, learn from their past, signing these one hit wonders with the Knicks, and you don't hear from them. There's quite a few of them. So Frank, Kevin, Cam, I mean, the list goes on. But anyway,
Yeah, it could go further back than that.
yeah, but
Remember when we had Eddie Curry and he was just lazy?
oh yeah, he was similar to a Zion as far as like lack of effort, and not even lack of effort, because Zion, he balls, he just needs to be a little bit more disciplined.
Yeah, he needs
Um,
the discipline and the focus and
yeah,
hunker down and focus.
yeah, it's quite a few.
Yeah, I agree. I think Josh Hart, and I get because it's not the same amount, but the fact that they gave him money before they gave quickly, to me still doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, yeah, they can sign
It,
what,
it
eighty
just
one million.
it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, they could have gave quickly that money. You know what I
Leadership is
mean?
so quick to, yeah.
I mean, you can come up with the 7 million more, and and I'm not saying it like it's 7,000 more, but I just think that the Knicks. That's something that they really have to figure out. Like we're sitting on all these draft picks for what? Are they gonna make a move this summer? We'll
Yeah,
see.
well, hmm.
You know, but yeah, guys, that's it for us today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. Let me shout out the chat. You guys were like really on fire today. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Nixa Nice. Shout out to Ajay. Shout out to Eddie Kofi. Eddie, is it Kofi or coffee? You gotta let me know. Shout out to Parish. Shout out to Steph, aka Queen. Check out Steph's show. If you guys haven't subscribed, she's like one of the only other, like, I would say, in the YouTube space, in the podcasting space, women who speaks really well about the Knicks, and she
Very
knows
informative. She knows her
very,
stuff, man.
and she asks the really great questions, like really great questions. And she knows her stuff. She makes amazing slides. She comes ready. Her presentations are really well. She's well respected in the podcasting space. And she shows love to her MBK family. She shows love to us all the time. We will be having Steph on, and a lot of the other MBK family who have all told us, from Ron, Tony Crow, anyone who's pretty much reached out to us and said, hey, whenever you want a guest on, let us know. But if you guys are not subscribed to Dope Soul Sports Talk, um, she's not only on YouTube, she's on Facebook. I believe she's on Twitter. She's also on Apple Music Podcasts. She's probably on Spotify too, because I know I have Apple Music, so I know I am subscribed to her on there. But definitely check in and show support. Subscribe to her channel. Subscribe to the Nothing But Knicks channel also if you guys are not already. Most of the chat are already on there. Um, you know, Kareem Grant, salute to you. We appreciate you guys watching us. King Ribby, um, Shy Legacy. Who else? Kareem Grant, if I didn't say you already.
Yeah, you did.
Uh, I'm getting Steph's condition. She's like, yeah, I know my condition. But yeah, Steph, we're definitely going to have you on because we really truly respect you in this space. We're super grateful for you having us on her all women's panel, her monthly panel. So we should be having another show coming up soon that we do with Queen Steph, aka Queen, along with Ebony, who's also she does a segment on Nick of Time podcast
Oh
on
yeah, yeah.
YouTube. BX Chris and Tsunami. So I love being on there with those ladies. It's a great show if you get a chance to check us out. And yeah, to everyone else who's out there on in the podcasting space, speaking Knicks basketball, there's a lot of us out there, but and the subscribers they follow many different ones. They don't just follow one, but the fact that you take time out to watch us, we appreciate that. And again, to the replay gang, thank you all too for watching us and supporting the channel. And to the new subscribers, welcome. Those of you, it's your first time watching us, check us out. We always do either pregame or postgame coverage. We definitely always come on like a Saturday morning. And for those who don't know, I am Lady and the Chef. And that's my mom, Diva Locks, and we're true diehard Knicks fans, and we absolutely love the Knicks. We're like super diehard Knicks fans throughout the growing pains. There's still many growing pains there, you know. This is why we're here to talk to you guys and give it to you real and raw, and bring it from a female's perspective in a male-dominated space. But there are many great women who really do know their stuff and have a love for sports. But yeah, until next time, family. I don't know if Diva Locks has anything else to say before we get out of here.
Now you know my mantra. Let's go Knicks. Until the
Exactly.
next time.
Until next
Peace.
time, everybody. Peace.